Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the Bass Blaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Number 1. Jordan Lee won in yet another format, this time the new this year Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour going to 5 fish format. The two-time Bassmaster Classic winner is one of the best ever, and this time he got her done on Lake St. Clair, Michigan, of course an all smallmouth derby. The big deal in this one was that he chose to fish in Canada, which was off limits to all bass fishing until the tournament started. That meant he couldn't make a single cast in practice, which is a big risk, but he knew that tournaments this time of year on St. Clair have been won on the Canadian side, in particular the Bell River Hump area. Now, one piece of equipment was key for him in practice and runner-up Alton Jones Jr., which we'll get to in a minute. Bait-wise, Jordan and about half the top 10 fished the all-important Berkley Max Scent baits. Most of the other guys fished the Max Scent Flatworm, a well-known smallmouth killer, but Jordan fished the bigger, I think it's about an inch bigger, flat-nosed jerk shad. The reason for that was his fish were spitting up big yellow perch, which surprised him, so they weren't put off by the longer bait or bigger bait, and that bigger bait allowed him to use a bigger 2/0 drop shot hook. Now, when it got slack calm or otherwise tough, he also Ned rigged a Berkley Max Scent Little General in the all-important Gobiashi color. I gotta shout out that Jordan fished his Abu Garcia Jordan Lee signature rods, which are reasonably priced and really good. Now, I did ask him if he fished in Canada because the fish are nicer there, and he said yes. How nice? Check this.
Might as well go for soda. It's better than slander. It's better than lies.
That's right. In Canada, they're so nice they write songs about getting a soda being better than slander and lies. Number 2. Alton Jones Jr. steadily climbed up the standings at St. Clair and almost caught Jordan Lee at the end. He did finish second, and if there's any doubt that Alton Jr. is one of the hottest fishermen in America right now, well, he's leading the Bass Pro Tour Angler of the Year points race. The first 4 places of that points race are real tight, and after Ott Defoe and Dakota Ebert stumbled at St. Clair, guess who's in second right behind Alton Jr.? That's right, 2022 and 2021 Angler of the Year winner, Jacob Wheeler himself. Now, Ott's still in it too in third, and then Tennessee's Matt Becker is in fourth. Now, I gotta shout out one of the baits Alton Jr. used to finish second, and it's the G-Crack, or G-Crack, Emo Kamushi. I believe that's another one of those heavy soft plastic baits that are hitting pretty hard in the United States right now. Now, with those skirt strands, it looks like this bait might have a little more action than other heavy soft plastics, and it does, sorta, as you can tell from this underwater video. Now, I heard the G-Crack or G-Crack guys got the idea for those skirt tentacles or whatever you want to call them from being huge Tremor movie fans. You know, those graboid things. Does Emo Kamushi mean graboid in Japanese? Alright, I made all that up, but it's a cool little bait, and Alton Jr.'s been G-Cracking them. Number 3. After all that fear and depression and internet negativity, so far this year on the 2 top tours, the dreaded forward-facing Sonar hasn't been a huge factor. We did see the first 2 Bassmaster Elites, won by Tyler Rivette and Joey Cifuentes, one with forward-facing Sonar bizarrely in Florida lakes. Then, of course, Jeff Gustafson won with it in the Bassmaster Classic, fishing a pretty shallow Tennessee River system with it. On the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour, I believe it didn't play at all until Anthony Gagliardi won using it on Murray, and then Jacob Wheeler won with it on Lake Guntersville. What's interesting is it wasn't a factor at all for Adrian Avina when he won the Cayuga Lake Bass Pro Tour in New York recently. And that was an all smallmouth derby. But everyone was using it to see and catch fish at St. Clair, so it is playing again, and typically it's 100% necessary in smallmouth tournaments. You know what else is playing again?
The Alan Parsons Project.
Give people play, you take it or you leave it.
That's right, it's video games Bass Peeps play, but that's not all. Number 4. AquaView underwater cameras are playing. For a while, these AquaView cameras have been used by northern guys, particularly in smallmouth tournaments, but it seems like everybody's cottoned onto it now. Jordan Lee used one to see fish in Canada when he couldn't make a cast in practice. Alton Jr, who fished Canada, did the same thing, and so did a bunch of other guys on the Bass Pro Tour. If you're wondering why those guys would need it if they have all the latest and greatest sonar, here's Major League Fishing's Robbie Newell explaining it.
With all of your 2D electronics and your downscan electronics, and now with forward-facing sonar, a lot of people that buy these electronics, these high-end electronics, they don't know what they're looking at on the sonar. So now you can actually have your camera down there on the bottom, and the picture of what you're seeing in real time on here, and switch back and forth. And the idea is it's almost like cutting your learning curve in half.
For a little more clarity, here's Hook and Look's Kim Stricker.
You may see blips of fish activity or bait fish, but you don't necessarily know the exact species. You may see structure or vegetation, but you don't know exactly what type.
A big thing neither of those guys mentioned in those clips is fish size. So as you probably know, in smallmouth tournaments, a half-pound bigger average or even a quarter-pound bigger average makes a huge difference in the standings. And other than hooking fish to see how big they are, the only other way to see what size they are with your own 2 eyes is with a camera, an underwater camera. Now the AquaView cameras, you can either use it as a little portable handheld deal, or you can mount it on your boat and hook it up to your Lowrance, or maybe not mount it and hook it up to your Lowrance. And I believe Garmin units can accept the input, so you can see it on a split screen on your bigger screens on your console or up on the bow. It's pretty cool, and I think you could record the input too. Couple more things I can think of is I bet it would be real fun for kids. And what if you drop your phone in the water? Man, they need to make one of those self-inflating life jackets for phones. Number 5. After years of frustration, marital conflict, and psychological counseling due to bass fishermen trying to master the FG knot.
Oh, it's okay. Take it easy, all right? What was that? That was too dark.
Those of us who have less patience or less time or less coordinated fingers have been searching high and low for a good alternative. One guy even paid a professor, a Dr. Jones, to try and find a good alternative knot, but all he got was a little weird gold statue. Okay, there's actually quite a few good alternatives to the FG knot, and one I discovered recently is called the Slim Beauty knot. Listen, I can tie this thing. I'm an impatient guy, and I don't need any more patience to do it. Here's what it looks like.
So first thing here, grab your fluorocarbon leader, and what you do is just do a double overhand knot. So twice through the loop, and you pull it until the line folds over on itself and forms a figure 8, just like that. So you've got the figure 8 in there now. Now your time to grab your braided line. So start from the end where the tag end is, and I go up through one side of the figure 8, and then make sure the important step is that you go down through the other side. So when you pull that through, you'll have your line going up and down through that knot there, just like that.
Then you just wind the braid up about 10 times, then back about half as many times, and then put it through the loop, and then you pull real gently. That's the key, pull gently at first. Also, sometimes right in the beginning, that double overhand knot doesn't turn into that infinity shape looking loop until it gets really small. So anyway, for me, it works. And it is way easier to tie than that FG knot, including in the boat. Thanks much to the guys at Fenwick Rods for hipping me to it, man. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam. Go to BassBlaster.com or .rocks to sign up for the juice-filled Bass Blaster email. See you next week or the week after. God bless you.